Okay, we are live. Just guys, just check once. And if people are watching us, could you please comment in the comment section as well that I am loud and clear and the audio and everything is completely fine. So just once, let us know, and then we'll start immediately. Okay. I see. I think we are live at LinkedIn. So, guys, all the people who are joining with us, thank you very much. My name is Shivan Thakur. I'm a community manager associate at K21 Academy. I'm your host for the evening as well. And welcome everybody to our brand new talk show series on cloud learning in general. We're going to have people from all the different domains like Microsoft Azure, Oracle, AWS, Google Cloud. All of the people are going to be here, all the experts. And today we've got one such expert here. So, welcome again to the first episode of the Ultimate Cloud Learning Show by K21 Academy. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are as well. Today we have with us Mrs. Pragati Jain. She's been almost in the data analytics domain for more than half a decade now. She's done multiple amount certification, Microsoft Azure certifications as well, and she is. We can call her an expert right now on Microsoft Power BI as well. So thank you very much, ma'am. I'm glad to have you here.
Thanks, Shivansh. I mean, I'm quite excited to be here today.
Okay, thank you very much. And guys, before I'm gonna start, just a quick reminder: these sessions, like just like the other sessions that we have done on our platform, are about you and your learning journey. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, make sure you put them in the comment section, and we're gonna be picking them up in between as well. And we're gonna have a dedicated section at the very end as well where we are picking your questions up. So make sure you ask whatever questions you guys have in the comment section. Okay. So I'll start with the first question myself, and this is something that a lot of people, I'm pretty sure your followers, will also have in mind. That you've been in the data analytics industry for more than half a decade now. That's 5+ years now. So how did the entire journey started for you, and what are the things that you have learned throughout this journey?
Yeah, I think the obviously the journey wasn't easy because I think the time when I started into data analytics was something getting started at that time. It was something getting highlighted in the industry, like everywhere it was analytics. People were talking about data. So obviously it was not
Yeah.
easy because there were already some established people who were working in the industry with different tools and technologies for more than 2 decades or so. But people like me were new entering into the industry. So yeah, obviously it was not easy for me to start, but somehow made my way, and then kept on doing what I always loved doing. So it was kind of been like a different journey, a lot of learnings, a lot of challenges, and knowing new people, learning from own experiences along with learning from others experiences as well. So one
Okay.
thing has been really lucky for me, like I have always had, like luckily, good bosses under whom I have worked in a team
Yeah.
or in an organization. So basically, I started my career 12 years back in India.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
started my job basically with Tata Consultancy Services. I think most of us start with that company in India, or Infosys or Wipro, right? So I was one of you guys. I mean, started somewhere there, and
Yeah.
obviously I started my journey as a database developer. So I started something with like COBOL. Have you guys heard about COBOL language? I used to be a coder in COBOL, and then just after 6-7 months, I switched into a DB kind of role because I really had interest on working with Oracle and all stuff. So I was luckily good enough on that SQL kind of side. So I got a role switch within TCS. So I worked there
Okay.
for 4 years, and obviously something was not really going well. So there I was working as a programmer analyst, and then at that time I realized like this data analytics is really coming or growing quickly, or something new is coming in the industry. So why not try something new with the career, or you're learning. So I just started to look at things, how I can enter into data analytics, because my stream was totally different. I was never
Okay.
an analyst before. So for me, it was like switching into analytics was something doing new. So I think
Okay.
the easiest thing what I found at that time was if I can get some level of degree or experience within, in that domain by studying a course or something, then maybe it could be a good path for me to start my analytics journey. So that's how I started my analytics journey there. Went for my master's, did my master's in data science and analytics, and then stepped first time in analytics industry after that. So that was my kind of
Okay.
journey.
So had you started your like had you gotten your first job in the data analytics domain just before you kind of got done with your masters? Was it before that or after
Yes.
that you got your first job?
Yes, so basically the master's course which I joined here in London. So I did my master's in data science and analytics from Royal Holloway University of London, and this course was pretty good for me because so it was a 2 years master's. The first year was purely academic, like we have similar education system everywhere, like in India also you have proper classes, seminars, then you get your exams to write and get that degree, I mean get those marks and everything. But the second part of the degree was pretty interesting because it was like a 1 year complete industry experience in a company.
Okay.
So
Okay.
obviously, I mean, universities help you to a bit, like getting those kind of internships. But I think I was a lazy person. I mean, I'm honestly accepting that. But I I actually struggled to get an internship here, guys. Trust me. But somehow I landed in the last company to get the internship, and I was literally hoping now I have to get a 1 year's master's because I don't have internship in my hand. Most of my friends had internship in my hand, and I was like, what? I don't have internship. But still, luckily I got the last internship job. They loved my previous experience on SQL and added to my skills with the masters. They just hired me as an intern. So
Okay.
that was the lucky moment for me. I think the person who took my interview looked at my experience in SQL because he was a SQL guy. He's like a gem of a person. I've worked with him in the first organization in UK. So I think because of that, I got that job. So I think my experience really helped me in getting my internship into analytics. So,
Okay.
so that's how I landed my first internship, and luckily I worked for these guys for 1 year, and I think they love my job. They actually gave me Employee of the Month during my internship because I delivered one live dashboard for one of the biggest client here we were working with, and I was an intern. And I delivered the first dashboard in Microsoft Power BI, and no one in the
Okay.
organization had ever worked on Power BI. I was the first one to do it on my own and get something delivered for a client within few months. So I think
Okay.
they really love my work, so they gave me a permanent position basically. So I think that stuff really worked well for me. So I entered into an industry as an intern in an organization and landed with a permanent job there. So yeah,
That's
that's how
that.
I started my journey. Yeah.
That's amazing, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the people who are watching here as well, especially for the people who are watching us from India, their probably first job, just like you said, is probably going to be from Capgemini, Cognizant, TCS, Wipro. These four
Yeah,
gems that are out there.
but like in India, it's pretty different. Like companies come to your campus, place you. But here
Yeah.
things work opposite. They never come to your university to hire you. It's up to you to find them and apply for them. So that's a different
Okay.
kind of struggle I've seen here outside India because I did my engineering in India and then did my masters here. So that was a difference. But in the end, if everything goes well, then everything is fine, right? So that's how it is.
That's great to hear. I wanted to ask, like, on that one aspect as well. So you did your masters in data analytics
Yeah.
specifically,
Yeah.
and today with the introduction of so many e-learning platforms, just like K21 is one of them as well, or offering courses or short-term courses in those particular field. So do you think there's still a need of masters, or and now someone can go with a course, do their and because even the courses have kind of structured in this similar way where they're picking all of those new things that are coming in the market. They're being taught by industry professionals as well, and they have a capstone project at the very end as well. So, do you think that need of masters is not now there, or that need still exists according to you?
I think I would like to answer that in a different way because masters can help someone a lot, like me. But for someone who has already a pretty good experience in the industry, maybe masters won't be helpful for him or her. The reason
Okay.
is because my entire experience before doing my masters or entering into analytics was not into analytics industry. So that's
Okay.
why getting that master's degree added to my previous experience and landed me a job into analytics industry. But for example, there are people in the industry, who are like working from last 20 years already into analytics in a different way. So if people like them or anyone who's working like as a basic analyst like doing analysis in Excel maybe, can really land into analytics without actually getting a master's, because they already have a kind of base on working with data and generating stories or insights, or transforming or blending data in a good way to start a story for the client, right? So for the people like them who already have a background, I don't think masters would really help them, because they already have a good experience of looking things from a different perspective. But for people like me who never had a background into that industry but really wanted to come here, then masters can really help.
Okay, that's great. And what about the certifications that, I mean, you have also done a certain amount of certification, both Microsoft and non-Microsoft as well.
Yeah.
So what do they add to a resume of a person or the skill set of a person, according to
So
you?
yeah, I think certifications are, I mean, if I just talk from my point
Sorry.
of view first, from my point of view, certification is something I try to do just to judge my own knowledge, because what
Okay.
I have seen so far here is like, if you have got good experience, you have handled good use cases for doing analysis or analytics, then a certification won't add that much to you. Certification just gives you like a additional stamp on top of your experience, but I
Okay.
don't think just getting a certification will land you a job, because I
Okay.
have seen that, I mean, people, I mean, I myself take interviews as well. So I know like certification is just not the reason for hiring a person. Because, for example, if someone has got DA 100, which is Data Analyst Associate certification, which is purely a Power BI certification, I've seen like people doing it these days a lot, because Microsoft Power BI is getting popular. I mean, it's a good thing. People should do the certification, because at least they spend some time in preparing for it and then, passing it, right? That
Yeah.
helps. But when the interviews are around like giving you a live use case, generating story, or creating some kind of insights or story, and if you don't have experience on how to get data, how to look at different things in data so that you can generate a story for a person, then that certification won't help you. So that's why, if
Okay.
many people actually approach me on LinkedIn like, can I do the DA 100 and will it land me job, I always go back and tell me, do you have experience in Power BI? Because that will be the main factor that will land you a job as a Power BI developer, not just the certification. So, for example, if there's a Java developer, he wants to get a job into Power BI. So, I don't think just a certification will land him that job. He needs to have at least some experience around reporting, analysis, which will land him job. So, I
Okay.
use certification just to test my knowledge from time to time, like how much I have gained in last few years. That I really, am I really up to mark? Am I really up to the latest changes that have come to the tool? So that's why I go with certifications. So they add a bit to your job landing, but I won't say they're 100%.
Okay. So more or less, in other words, it's just like it gives you a validation. It gives you a validation to the skill set that you have, and
Yes,
eventually, it's just like a add-on to your resume, which should already be a good resume, and you should already have the skills to land the job.
yes, exactly. I mean, it's a add-on on top of your experience, but it's not considered the only point to get you hired, basically.
Okay, okay. So now I'm gonna ask you two different questions one by one afterwards, and these two are kind of my own personal questions as well because I was also a data science student back in my bachelor's, and these are the questions that I used to ask almost all of the professors that were teaching me. So the first question would be, which is your programming language of choice, whether it's a Python or whether it's R programming? I know there's a huge debate out in the market, and especially in the data analytics and data science community as of such, some people say R is more superior, some people might say Python is more superior. So what's your take on that?
That's a tough question.
I'm sorry if
I
I'm
just
putting you
don't
in a
want
little
to
bit of a
make
pickle.
our people or Python people sad, but I actually started using R when I started my master's degree, because obviously my master's is around data science. It's very less focused around analytics. It was purely a data science master's where I learned about predictive modeling, developing them, and all those things. So obviously we started with R. I mean, it's now 6 years back. I started with R. I learned R is very simple language. Basically, what you speak, you can write. So it was really good from first
Yeah.
point of view, because it was very easy to learn. I was getting everything done on time, all assignments on time. So yeah, it was pretty good. But when I actually started my job, so during my internship, I actually worked as an analyst. I mean, maybe not many people know about it, but when I got my permanent job, for the first year, I worked as a data scientist. So it was more around, analyzing, like the first project I did was more around analyzing customer journey and predicting their behavior in the coming months. So I started doing something into R because I had pretty good experience with R due to my master's degree. So I started doing something into R. But suddenly, I think that year Python really picked up. So I just thought of exploring Python. And the difference, what I saw between R and Python was, first thing, Python could be really good for anyone who has previously worked with Java because the syntax is very same. But for
Yeah.
a person like me who has never done Python before, just know the basic logic of write. For example, writing if-else statement, then Python is pretty good to write. But the
Okay.
difference what I see between R and Python is pretty much, bringing new things like new packages very
Yeah.
quickly. So, it's making a developer's life easy basically. So I would
Okay.
say Python, because I literally started because I have worked more into Databricks and Spark side initially. So I used
Okay.
to use PySpark a lot, which is basically a
Yeah.
Python support in Spark area. That's what
Yeah.
PySpark is. So I started with Spark SQL, then PySpark because I loved Python. So I think I started loving Python, and also it kind of depends on the kind of experience I was given, or the kind of technology or platform I was given to work with, because PySpark was pretty good to work on Spark. So that's why I just fell in love with Python. So for me, I think Python works well. But sorry about guys who really love R, because I love R, but the only difference is I have worked more on Python. That's why I like Python more. But R is
Okay.
equally a good language. I mean, there are statistical analysis done by
Yeah.
many statisticians using core R language, and they are brilliant at it basically because I've worked with few of them before. So yeah, R is equally really good, guys. But I think it's just about my experience. Like I've more done on Python, so that's why I like Python more.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely agree with you on that one particular point that R is more of a statistical language rather than, in comparison to Python being an overall developer friendly language. The only reason why I didn't like Python back in my day is because it doesn't have any, brackets or any of those things that you are getting used to in Java. So if you miss a, indentation or something, it's a nightmare to again debug the code where you have missed that. So
Yeah,
that is one of
but
the.
I think same thing is valid for your coding language as well, which you use to write the if-else code. For example, if you miss
Yeah.
one of the brackets in your 10 if-else code, then your code will give you error, right? The same
Yeah,
thing with
exactly.
indentation, right? So I think anyone should be fine. Like if you're good with putting brackets, use it. If you are not, then yeah, use Python. So
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Okay, the next one would be a lot easier for you, but again, it's a similar controversial question. Again, putting you in a little bit of a pickle there. Uh, right now, data visualization plays. I mean, right now, what it's been a major part of data analytics and data science from the very start. And right now, there are two big names in the market in the industry when we look at for data visualization tools. That is Tableau and Power BI. You are somewhat an expert in Power BI. So how do you compare both of them, and where do you think Power BI, is better if not at the same level?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's quite good question, because this question still has, I mean, its place in a debate in most of the talk shows, because there are people who are working in Tableau, because Tableau is a well-established tool. I actually started my journey with Tableau, guys. I mean, the first three dashboards that I did in my life were entirely in Tableau. Power BI is something, the third tool I worked on because I worked on Tableau, then I worked on ClickSense, and then I got hands on Power BI. So yeah,
Okay.
if I compare Tableau and Power BI in a very straight way, I mean, sorry guys if there is a Tableau expert in the audience. I mean, based on my limited experience, I'm telling that. So Tableau doesn't give me that level of flexibility if I really want to, play around with data or transform it to a different level within the tool. So how Tableau works is just bring in the ready data in it, which is like already in a good shape, and try
Yeah.
visualizing it. On top of it, you can basically, create your new columns or new calculations and then use it for visualization. That's what Tableau works with.
Okay.
In Power BI, what I really find interesting is when you ingest your data in Power BI gives you a lot more flexibility to do things with data. So it's not just about modeling the data, it's more around just redefining your data to a different structure as well. So for example, you can group data, you can pivot data, unpivot data. So basically you can play around with the original structure of the data as well, and convert it to the new structure based on your reporting requirements. That's what something I like in Power BI. But obviously, I mean, when most of the people compare Tableau and Power BI, so Tableau has been in industry for more than 2 decades now. It's more than a 20-year-old tool, right? It's a
Yeah.
very rich tool which is already developed and has been used by many analysts for years, right? But Power BI is
Yeah.
something really, you know, coming up. It's a new tool. It has been 6 years old. Yeah, I think 6 years old. So
Okay.
it's a new tool, but being a new tool, it really gives you more flexibility. And the other thing I like about Power BI, I mean, I really want to highlight that Power BI desktop is free, guys. I mean, just download it, start playing around with it. But for Tableau, you get only a 15-day free license. After that, it is paid. So if someone who's starting their journey into analytics and really want to play around with some visualization tool, Power BI is very pretty easy to start with. Just download desktop and start doing things. It is free for you, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, I've worked in Power BI domain for more than Tableau, because I'm sure who are working in Tableau for last 10 years, they'll have different views maybe from mine. But obviously, I've got enough experience on Power BI. So that, again, makes me more biased towards Power BI. And but I really think it's a good tool to start with. I mean, without worrying about any licensing issue. So yeah, I would suggest Power.
Okay. I mean, I definitely agree on the, trying out part. A lot of my friends specifically who were, just starting out their entire data analytics journey, and learners who I also met at K21 Academy as well, they
Yeah.
also kind of told me the same exact thing, that the Power BI actually gives you that capability where you can test out a lot of different things, which is not the case with Tableau because there's a limited period of time there as well.
Yeah, because Tableau is like, I mean, you can import your data, but then you can't change a lot in the structure of the data. But in
Yeah.
Power BI, suppose I just import a raw Excel file and now I just want to transform it, clean it. So I get so many options within Power BI, the Power Query editor, which gives me that kind of, flexibility to bend the data, blend it into different way, and then, try to generate some different insights. So that's something I really like about Power BI, which I was not able to find in Tableau when I did 6 years back the first dashboard in Tableau. Maybe now Tableau has those kind of features, but when I compare it, I think Power BI is more flexible for the users, and obviously it's easy to start with as well. So anyone can just download desktop and start with it.
Okay, that's great, guys. If anybody who's watching and is interested in Power BI but do not know where to start, you guys can go and check it out. Free live class that's there online. It's absolutely free. You can just go and attend it. There's also a live demo there as well, so you can also check that out. Okay, moving on to the next question. You are a Microsoft MVP as well, and someone who constantly tries to help others grow as well with your own channel as well. That you are a part of a lot of other free kind of live workshops yourself as well. So what are your personal future plans with it? As I mean, I like to give you guys a title of sorts, which is cloud influencer in a way. So what's your future plans with that?
Oh, thanks for that. Sure. But yeah, I think MVP journey was actually quite fascinating for me, because it has been like so good, because I received my MVP last year in March 2021. So I mean, how I started, because I see many people, approaching me how to start, such kind of things, so they can be, recognized as an MVP in future. I mean, if any of you guys really want to do that, I can actually share what I really started doing with it. Was, I think, 3 years back, when I had like 3 years nearly experience with Power BI. Then I came to know about this Microsoft Power BI community, which I never knew about. Okay, then I started. So Microsoft Power BI community is a forum where you can actually, get a lot of help on Power BI stuff. Along with it, you can help the other people as well with their queries. So I started as a newbie, I think, in 2018. October 2018, I remember the date as well somehow. So I started at that time and started contributing in the community. So my contribution was initially more around posting my queries, what I was
Okay.
facing challenges in my daily day-to-day work. Like, okay, this is not happening in Power BI. What's the best way to do it? So trust me, in Power BI community, you have amazing people there. Not just MVPs, non-MVPs are amazing people there, If you
Okay.
post something on Power BI community, you'll definitely get answer, guys. So if you have, then do post it. But yeah, I started my journey by contributing on Power BI community. So where I was helping people with Power BI queries, I was posting some blogs related to different Power BI use cases and challenges that I was facing. And somehow when I contributed there for 2 years or so, then one of the existing MVP was kind enough to nominate me for as an MVP, because you cannot nominate yourself for an MVP. It's more like
Okay.
either an existing Microsoft employee or an existing
Okay.
MVP can only nominate you for an MVP.
Okay.
So obviously
Okay.
he nominated me based on what things I was doing with the community, within the community, and yeah, got my MVP. And once I got my MVP, I thought, let's try something new. So I'm actually, my nature is like that. I like to talk with people a lot and get to know a lot of stuff about them as well, not just myself. So
Yeah.
I thought, why not start speaking and teaching things, or showing things what I am doing in my daily life in a different way. So I started,
Yeah.
entered into speaking, have been doing it for nearly a year now. I started my speaking journey last year in May, I think. Yeah, so it's nearly month, year basically. So yeah, I am an MVP, and my future plans are continue doing this stuff more because I really love it. It's kind of my passion, which I want to do outside my work hours. So I have a full time job, and apart from that, I spend few hours extra to do these community works. So I think I'll keep on doing that. And the other thing, what are my future plans regarding to the question what you just asked, Shivansh? I'll be
Yeah.
starting my YouTube channel soon. I mean, I have my
Okay.
YouTube channel where I have
Yeah.
previous recordings for all the sessions I have given so far, live to the community. But the other thing, what I'm going to start is I'll be, start posting some Power BI related tips and tricks. So they'll be like quick videos. So I'm not generating like a course on my YouTube channel, but it'll be more around what challenges I face on my daily life and how you can quickly solve it in Power BI. So that's something I'm working on, because obviously it's kind of really hard to take out time for these things. But yeah, I'm really working on it, and that's my future plan. And obviously I'll keep on contributing to the community by, doing these kind of talk shows or delivering, fruitful sessions on Power BI. So that's what I'm looking forward to do, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Once the channel is up and running, we can have one of these sessions again, and
De-
we can promote that as well.
Definitely. Thanks for that.
Okay, so initially, when we were talking, the first question that I asked, you also kind of mentioned that you have learned a lot of things yourself as well. Uh, and I'm pretty sure there would be some mistakes as well that you made throughout the entire journey. So, could you please share with us those learnings and those mistakes? I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are watching are people who are just starting out, or they're still in that developing phase of theirs. So, what are the things that they have to look out for in terms of kind of growth, and what are the things that could be an hindrance to that growth?
I think one thing is, like, if you guys are, planning to start something analytics, I know there are many people who may not be having experience in analytics previously like me, but really want to enter into it. So the first thing is, guys, I mean, just don't get scared of it, because I myself was scared doing things. When I took a very big step doing a master's from outside India, first thing, guys, because you guys don't know me. I'm a very homesick person, staying away from family, from my husband. I mean, it was like kind of very tough decision for me. Did my master's and got a job here, but trust me, working here is not easy, because
Okay.
like every one of us know, there are not very many women in the industry, especially in the IT team. So for you, being a part of team as a woman is sometimes like you have to stand for yourself. So obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, you are in a team where I used to be the only girl in the team, okay, in my first
Okay.
company. That was the most depressing part for me. But anyways, you have to be very strong. And yeah, the thing what I have learned is, if any challenge is given to you, don't just think like you won't be able to do it. Try to give your 100% to it, because there could be some times when you're learning a new tool, you don't know about it, right? And the client
Yeah.
just sends you few requirements, and if you are the only person in the organization knowing about that tool, then your company expects you to find solution for those things, right? So I have
Yeah.
spent late nights finding solutions within Power BI when I was learning it, and I think every one of you might have done it, especially starting with a new technology. So that was one of the challenge I faced. I mean, doing a 9 hours job and then spending extra hours just on the job thing was really
Yeah.
tough. So I think those kind of things you should keep in mind. Like, just try to find a solution and get it done. Don't just, get scared that you won't be able to do it. I mean, just believe in 100% of yourself. And the other challenges, guys, I mean, I have done many mistakes actually. Mistakes really help me in learning things and making things better. So, like, for
Yeah.
example, one of the dashboard I delivered 4 years back just broke. It went live,
Okay.
worked for 6 months, seventh month, the dashboard just broke.
Oh
And
damn.
it was literally on my boss what happened. And obviously my boss was on me what happened. So there were few things which I actually ignored in a dashboard. Like, for example, I learned it a hard way, but I learned it. That Power BI performance can really be messed out if you don't think about the amount of data you're ingesting in Power BI, and along with the kind of data model you're using behind Power BI to do those kind of slicing and dicing. So
Yeah.
one thing what is really a learning for me is writing or putting up a good data model in Power BI before starting with any reporting, because that really helps, guys. And especially if if the data is kind of big data where you've got like 50 million of rows in a single table, how you handle that in Power BI. So
Yeah.
yeah, so those kind of learnings can really help. But yeah, just trust yourself, you'll definitely find a way. If I can find, anyone can find a way for sure. So
Definitely. That that's great to hear. Guys, again, I think that goes for any other career that you're growing in. You're gonna be making mistakes. And eventually the bigger part is not about that whether you're making mistakes or not, whether you're learning from it and actually moving forward with your entire journey as of such.
yeah.
So we are almost at the very end of the session, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can put them down below. This particular session, I've tried not to be very technical oriented and asking technical questions, because we'll probably have Pragati again on our show to discuss those part of it as well. So right now it's more about her journey, what learnings have she had, and we're going to be posting this entire clip on our YouTube channel as well. So make sure you go there as well, and we're going to be posting the short clips of individual questions as well. So just stay tuned for that. And if you're someone who's coming here from Pragati's profile, make sure you check us out. And if you are someone from K21 Academy's profile, make sure you check Pragati out on that part. So on the ending note, I just want to ask this one last question as to a lot of companies are investing heavily in data science as well. That is, kind of creating a plethora of job opportunities up there. And this is not a less known fact now, because the amount of people who are trying to get in this industry is also kind of growing at a rapid scale. So what do you think can a candidate do, or someone, an individual can do, to actually increase their chances to to get a job and to get a good growth in their particular data science career?
I think one thing what I can, especially share, I mean, not just about data science, it could be data analytics, it could be like a software developer, anything, guys. So there are many people who really want to try something new with their career and don't have relevant experience. These days, I've seen one thing is really good is, like, for example, I mean, I'm not promoting any platform, but for example, consider Kaggle platform, right?
Yeah.
It is really a good place if you want to start your data science journey. I mean, at Kaggle, they post every month or so new challenges, and they
Yeah.
ask you to predict stuff, design different algorithms, they give you a proper ranking, and even if you win it, you get something out of it, right? Some money prize or something. I mean, okay, don't
Definitely.
look at the money prize, but still look at the few things, like you can actually work with the real data. So the real data from there will give you the real world challenges, what when you work in a company in an actual project. So try to focus on few of these platforms if you really want to gain experience. There's Kaggle, and then in analytics related to dashboarding, there are many challenges these days going on, like Maven Analytics. I've seen ONX data platform, they do a lot of dashboard challenges. There's something like dashboard in a day or something,
Yeah.
or there's a different name, I don't remember exactly. So try to find out those kind of platforms where you can actually just see like what kind of experience you can get, because if you have got those kind of experiences, you can mention them in their CV and in your CV, and that will give you a real kind of experience, like, okay, come on, I am eligible for this job because I've done these kind of things. Are you there, Shivansh, or is it my internet that's gone, or it's your internet?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Actually, there's some electricity issue and my laptop just got shut off
Oh
immediately.
yeah. I was just trying to understand, like, was it me or you? So
No, no, absolutely. Really sorry about that. My laptop just got shut in between. It
that's
didn't give the warning for the very first time. It just got shut off. I'm literally joining via my phone. Really sorry about that. But please continue what you were saying.
I think I was what I was talking about. I just forgot.
Okay, and that particular case, I guess we're almost at the end of this session. I don't see any questions as of such. So, guys, thank you very much. We'll be having the second session where we're going to be covering the technical part of it. So, make sure when we are posting the clips or whatever questions when we are putting this entire clip on our YouTube as well, that you go there and put whatever technical questions you have regarding Power BI or data visualization, data modeling in that particular aspect, just over there so that we can have the next session and we can directly pick your questions. We do have a questionnaire for that as well. But because of time constraints as well, we were more into Pragati's journey today, which I think you guys would have definitely, kind of taken advantage of in terms of learning. And we'll make sure that we also cover the technical aspects of it. What are the learnings that Power BI as being a new platform which is ever evolving, just like Pragati mentioned as well. So we cover those things as well in the next session. Thank you very much again, ma'am, for joining us today, and for all the people who are watching us as well.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Shivansh, for hosting me. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining the talk show.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you had a great time. And guys, if you are interested in Power BI, just like I mentioned, you can definitely go right now and attend a free class. The links would be in the comment section as well. And apart from that, there is a data engineering one as well. The links would again be in the comment section. If you want to attend that, you can attend that. It's absolutely free. And again, we'll meet again probably in the next week with the new episode of the Ultimate Cloud Learning Show by K21 Academy. My name is Shivansh Thakur, and I'll see you guys again. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Everyone, bye.
Bye. Zach, could you please end the webinar, oh, sorry, the show from end broadcast at the top right? Azhar, can you do that?